Hello, this is Melissa Holden, and I still don't have a catchphrase. But I was thinking about how there can sometimes be years between when you teach something and when it's actually learned. I learned it because the video that I'm about to show you, and this I have to preface it because this is the video where I learned something that I was taught years and years ago. I never give a flip about what I look like, and one of my teachers tried to teach me something about that. It was my music theory teacher, not the place where you're learning life lessons, right? Unless you live in music theory. Well, anyway, the thing that he said was, when you get up and get dressed, you need to make sure that you look nice, because not for yourself, but for the sake of everybody else who has to look at you. And the reason I learned that from that video was because I don't ever think about it. I'm just thinking about myself. I'm very egocentric. And so I'm thinking about me. And, well, I just had something I had to say. So I feel better getting it out, inventing it. But then I didn't think at all about what it actually looked like. And other people are going to have to watch it. And when I watched, I was like, oh, that's painful to watch. Okay, here's the video. Hello. My name is Melissa Holden, and I still don't have a catchphrase. Sorry. But I did want to, before I get started, there's something I do want to say. But before I say anything, there's just something I haven't done in a long time, and that's point out how beautiful my teeth are. Yeah, why? Because they're not real. Oh yeah, that lovely saliva line that went from my mouth. Sorry about that. Anyway, I just had to show that because I think it was last weekend, the person who made my teeth was saying how that's why they got into doing teeth. They first started talking about Mozart, so that got, of course, I said Mozart. That's not what got my attention. It was the fact that they said the word Mozart. And it always gets my attention because I wrote a lot of papers, and I was obsessed with him when I was younger. But he said the reason why he was talking about how Mozart had so many opus. And he says that's the reason why he became a dentist, is because he loved creating and sculpting teeth. And he actually did mine, and I've received so many comments how people love my teeth, and even little kids, who notice everything. People I used to have like white spots on my teeth. I don't know exactly what they're from, but little kids would always say things like, "What's wrong with your teeth?" or "What is that on your teeth?" It was very noticeable, and I got comments never ending. And I've gotten likewise so many comments about how beautiful my teeth are, how nice they are, and people have given me the compliment. I take it as a major compliment when I say something like, "Oh, I can eat that with my dentures," or the little kids that recently, it was so funny. Let me just sidetrack again, sorry. I was getting ready to leave, and there was these children, and I told them that I had false teeth, and they didn't believe. Head Start kids I used to eat with them, and then when I told them I had, even the teacher, the other teacher, because I was just an assistant, she says, "I didn't know you had fake teeth." That's how real they look. They're very, very nice looking teeth. But anyway, so as I was walking away, this kid asked me, "Can I see you take out your teeth again?" And so we were talking about, they were obsessed with that, and I started giving him a story about how you need to make sure you brush your teeth and take good care of your teeth, otherwise they could fall out. Now, all of your teeth would get cavities and it'd be really painful, and they'd all fall out, and you'd have to wear fake teeth like this. And anyway, as I walk away, I'm like ignoring anything more that they're saying, not thinking anything about it. And this one girl says, "Well, I know." She says, "I'm going to make sure I get lots of cavities so all my teeth fall out, so I get dentures." That's funny, because don't do that. But anyway, that's just one thing the kids say. The thing that I wanted to talk about was, now I'm having a totally different thought. that always happens. It's like I have something I want to say, but my mind is like pulling me off this other direction. Say this, talk about this. And the thing I want to talk about is how similar opposites can be sometimes, and how it's really hard, because the more like something is, the more it's its opposite. Okay, the example that I started out talking about somewhere else was about love, and how people say, oh, we need to love each other and stuff, and then everybody is familiar with at the Grammys when Will Smith decked a guy because he did something, and then everybody applauds and says, oh, that's love. Oh, we're supposed to love one another. Does that mean that we should all go up and hit each other? No, that's not what it means. And so, you see, that's kind of the opposite of loving someone. But it's called love. And anyway, I've always been very, very interested in how, what was I even talking about? How opposites are a thing. I'm going to pause to remember, because I had something very important that I needed to say. Okay, I remembered what it was. It was on the whole thing how the whole thing of individualism. It's good. When I was a young woman, a really young, about like 12 or 13, I went to this camp. It was a girls' camp, and the theme of it was free to be me. So you think that it's not lesbianism or anything, which I'm not saying there's anything against that. Okay, we're not going to get into that right now because I need to make a point. The point is, you'd think that's individualism. Well, that's a church-sponsored thing. And then there's also that movie, Meet the Mormons. That's what I always think of when I think of an example of it. And there's this one person in there describing their life and how they're the most altruistic, and that's supposedly characteristic of membership in the church, or the church, because I heard it said also, like, when a natural disaster happens, one of the very first responders there's always two: the Red Cross and the Mormon Church. So that makes you think, oh, we're altruistic, right? No, we're egoistic. Well, I got to thinking about that, and that's when I had this really profound thought that I wanted to share. I was thinking about the idea that, okay, and they were talking about this in another video I was watching too, and I thought, okay, I've got to say something, and I can't say something because the video was made like a few days ago. So, what I was thinking about is the whole point of creation is that we develop individuality, but that individuality chooses to be part of, or to care for one another. So we are supposed to love each other and take care of one another, but we're supposed to be individuals choosing to do that. It's like we're not Borg, like we are Borg. It's not like we're all like thinking the same thing. It's like a bunch of individual minds uniting for a common good. I remember it was a job interview for a long time ago. Somebody asked me, what is the definition of teamwork? Of course, stupid little me says, oh, I know. It's the Egyptians building pyramids. Egyptians did not build the pyramids. But anyway, my whole thing was, it's the fact that it takes a lot of people to accomplish something big and something monumental that'll last. And that's kind of the whole idea behind teamwork and behind loving one another and altruism and things versus individuality. We're supposed to nurture individuality, but that individuality is it's kind of like the reason why I pray. Do I pray? Oh, please bless me. It's me. I need this. I need this. No, the reason I pray isn't to get my wishes granted from the great genie in the sky. The reason I pray is so that I can become more in tune, is what we call it. And what does in tune mean? Well, think about strings on a piano. There's 3 strings, right, for every note. And a piano can be out of tune with itself if the 3 strings aren't the same pitch and they don't vibrate together. Anyway, it's like that. We pray so that we understand what God's will is and that we become someone that acts it out. This is getting way too long. Bye.